I haven't seen the majority of them in 3 months for the most part. Obviously, they've worked out with Coach Glass, but we don't see them. So it's always a fun time for me and the staff to see the guys and get them back in the room. And we got 4 weeks to go, essentially, to get ready for the first game. And so got to get down to it and make sure that we're ready to go. Louisiana and Lafayette will come in here ready to play.
A lot of orange and black here tonight. You enjoy doing events like these?
Well, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, I was in Tulsa last night, and then coming to Oklahoma City special with me being from this area. And I did notice that finding a parking spot was much more difficult than it was last year. I guess the forecast of what the future holds for us is much brighter, so there's a lot more people out here, which is kind of the goal in the first place.
Well, I got to ask you about the new uniforms. Do you like them?
I do, and I've said this before. I'm a pretty traditional guy, but I think it's the right thing to do. I know that it's big for Nike to pick Oklahoma State for the new uniforms, and our players are excited about it. So I think it's really good.
Any hint as to what combination you're going to open up the season with?
No, and I should know that, but I hadn't put much thought to it at all. When you have 48 combinations, that's a lot for a guy like me. So I'll leave that up to somebody else, and we'll come up with a plan for that. But it'll be neat, and I'm sure the players will want to have some input in it.
Coach Ford volunteered for uniform coordinator if you're looking for one of those.
Well, we're looking for one. He obviously plays a lot more games than we do, so he'd be better at it. But there'll be some thought that has to go into it. We have a lot of uniforms that the players are really excited about in their dark colors. And we have to be a little cautious of wearing them in the heat. So there'll be more thought put into it than what we originally wanted to, but it'll be a really neat setup once it gets up and running.
You talked about the high expectations, Mike. I noticed last night and other places, you're not backing away from any of that either, are you?
No, I think that's the way you want it to be. Our goal when we took this thing over 7 years ago was to go out on Saturday with a chance to win and have enough talent to compete against the other teams that we play, and for the fans to be excited to come and tailgate and show up, because if they feel like that we bring our A game, we have a chance to win. And I don't know that you'd want it any other way. There'll always be pressure and high levels of expectation with Oklahoma State football now. And so I wouldn't want it to be any other way. There's nobody that puts more pressure on our staff and our team than we do. So that's a good thing. We want to sell a lot of tickets and do the right thing and let the fans have a lot of fun.
Like you said, you hadn't seen much of your players. It must be nice. The two that you have seen the last two nights are Whedon and Blackman. You're sitting between them.
Well, no question. And we said this back in January that they were the two best recruits that we signed this year. Those guys are first-class people, as you can see with what they've done last night and them tonight. Not just them showing up and signing autographs, but they're great guys. They'll talk to you. They're certainly encouraged about being here, and they like being out in the public.
Talked about the heat. There's only so much you can do. You have to move your practice up to about 4 a.m. or what do you?
We moved our practices up some, but what you said is correct. There's only so much you can do. We have to prepare for the season, but we're going to certainly be very cautious with our players. We understand that it's hotter now than it ever has been that I can remember, and so we'll be smart. But we're going to go out and practice, and we're out in the field practicing hard. We're going to ask our players to give us 110%. That's what we've always done. So whether we have to take more breaks, whether we have to space out the practices, we'll come up with a plan that'll benefit our team and get ready to play in the first game.
You talked about Justin and Brandon. In a lot of ways, they're ambassadors for the program, aren't they?
Well, they are. And those two are smart enough to know that they're ambassadors for Oklahoma State University, the football team, but also for themselves. And I've had this conversation with them, and the commissioner in the NFL wants guys in the league that are going to do the right thing on and off the field. And so they're smart enough to know if they take care of their business, it not only benefits the university and our team, but it also benefits them.
Also, the Heisman seems to like guys that can identify with their fans, or outgoing, or do well in interviews.
Well, we live in a society today that's driven by technology and communication, and an opportunity. It's a great opportunity for young men or young women to, for lack of a better term, to market themselves. They have an opportunity to reach out to people and become very well liked, and it makes a big difference out there with the way things are with online and tweeting and all the stuff that goes on now. So these two guys do a great job of marketing for Oklahoma State and themselves.